They say you're everything you should be. So why does every compliment feel like a bruise you can't explain? You've spent years perfecting the version of yourself that always fits. The one who knows the lines, plays the role, never misses a cue. But the applause, the recognition, the promotions, the invitations, never lands where it should. Each new achievement feels like it belongs to someone else, a character you've rehearsed so long you can't remember when you started. The cost is invisible until it isn't. You find yourself scanning every room, every conversation for the right response, terrified of what might slip if you ever break script. Most people stop here. They feel it for a moment, then go back. But there's a reason this keeps coming back to you, and it has nothing to do with whether you're successful enough. By the end of this, you'll know the exact moment you started living by someone else's script and why you can't stop even when you want to. Recognition seeps in slowly. The praise that should feel like a rival always lands as proof that you're still performing. It's late. You're alone in a hotel room, city lights flickering through the window. The conference is over. Your phone buzzes. Another message congratulating you on a panel that went flawlessly. You read the words, but there's no feeling. Only the mechanical act of typing, thank you, appreciate it, and sending it back. The room is silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. You catch yourself replaying your answers from earlier, noticing every time you adjusted what you said, tuning your tone for the audience, for the organizers, for the invisible expectations. You wonder if anyone noticed how much of you was missing from that room. You wonder if you even noticed until now. Every day is a rehearsal. Before you speak, you run the tape in your mind. What does this person expect? Which parts are safe to show? In meetings, you edit yourself before a word leaves your lips, trimming away anything raw, unpolished, or uncertain. Even casual conversations feel like auditions. At the end of each day, your mind is exhausted, not from conflict, but from self-surveillance, anticipating what people want so you never slip out of character. Later, alone in the hotel room, you scroll through the congratulatory messages, but each one feels like a receipt for a role you played, never proof of a life you lived. But here's the part nobody tells you. The better you get at this, the more it costs you. You notice you can predict what people will praise, so you give them exactly that. You shape your talk, your energy, your opinions so precisely that there's no room left for anything unpredictable, no curiosity, no dissent, only the echo of what already fits. When you look back at your answers from that stage, you see that they landed perfectly. The applause was real, but the silence afterwards was heavier than any round of applause. The more you disappear behind your role, the more others reward you for it. Most people get trapped here. The very thing that protects you, that earns you recognition, slowly erases you. What once shielded you from criticism, what once kept you safe, is now the reason no one can see what you actually care about. At a family dinner, you default to safe anecdotes, stories you know will land, jokes you know are approved by your audience. Halfway through, you realize no one at the table knows what matters to you. No one asks because your script never slips. In the hotel room, you find yourself rehearsing a text you'll never send just to make sure it sounds right. People celebrate your consistency, never noticing the cost of your absence. And this is where it gets worse. After years of editing, every decision starts to feel like a guess. You hesitate, not out of fear, but because you can't separate what you want from what the script demands. Even small choices, what to eat, who to call, become tests with no right answer. When a major opportunity lands in your lap, you pause, not for lack of confidence, but because you can't tell if you want this or if it's just another perfect line in the role you were handed. You stand at the window, city lights flickering, and realize you can't remember the last time you made a choice that surprised you. You start to question every impulse, doubting if any of them are real. Eventually, you can't trust your own decisions because you don't know which desires are yours. You scan every urge, every wish. Do I really want this? Or is it just what's expected? Even the smallest decisions feel like traps. There's no clear impulse anymore. You look at the city and realize you're good at living out other people's scripts. You're not sure you know how to want something for yourself. You sit with that. The applause is loud, but your desires barely whisper. Over time, the script becomes your self-concept. You only allow yourself to want what fits the role. You catch yourself declining invitations to things that secretly interest you, telling yourself, "That's not me," even as you feel the sting of missing out. Outside of work, you flatten your own needs before anyone else can. In conversation, you police your feelings, steering away from anything that reveals what you might actually want. Alone, after the conference, you see the split. The person everyone saw isn't the one who left the room with you. You start shrinking from invitations, from new feelings, from anything that could threaten the role you've learned to play. And this is the real cost. When you spend long enough living from a script, you lose access to who you were before you started memorizing the lines. The risk is not just losing energy or connection. The risk is losing your ability to recognize your own wants. In private, you rehearse even your texts, watering down the truth so it can't be misread. With people you trust, you still hold back, careful not to break the pattern, not to trespass on the boundaries you drew for yourself so long ago you forgot their purpose. You get so good at reading the room, you lose the room inside you. And yet, every compliment, every promotion, every nod of approval only feels heavier, more confusing. You keep waiting for the applause to fill something, but it only echoes back the space you've emptied. You try to remember your last unedited response, the last genuine no, the last yes that wasn't calculated. Standing in the quiet of that hotel room, you realize you don't remember. You wonder what it would be like to want something fully, without rehearsing, without translating it into the language everyone expects. The script always promises safety, but it trades away your voice. You look at your schedule, all the invitations, all the meetings lined up, and see only the next scene, the next performance. The pattern is invisible to everyone else, but to you, its weight is constant. But here's where most people never look. The world keeps rewarding you for staying in character. No one asks what you lost. No one tells you that the applause is for an empty stage. If they only know the role, who will notice when you're gone? The cost is simple, brutal, and silent. You live your life, but it's not your life. It's a rehearsal that never ends, and the applause you crave is only the echo of your own emptiness. Silence. Recognition doesn't fix the emptiness, but it breaks the trance. Seeing the pattern for what it is makes it harder to keep rehearsing unconsciously. The next time you catch yourself filtering a response, Notice the gap between what you want to say and what you let through. Just notice, nothing more. Even a small pause is different now. The script is still there, but part of you isn't following it automatically anymore. Change always starts from seeing. The script is always there, shaping what you say and what you silence. To help you see the pattern, you can download your personalized archetype PDF below completely free of charge. It decodes your behavioral loop, showing the psychological archetype behind it and the exact moments it hijacks your choices. By processing your primary birth matrix through the InnerCodex framework, it isolates your specific profile out of 144 configurations, delivering your free blueprint of the script that's been rehearsing you.